Tucker Carlson apparently very worried about white supremacists getting radicalized in America, but we might have a bit of a disagreement about who exactly is radicalizing them, as you'll see.
But isn't it time to stop with the racism and the white privilege stuff, attacking people on the basis of their skin color? Could we just call it truce and just not talk like that anymore?
Sincerely, I wish we could, but what we've been seeing under this president is a rise in white domestic terrorism, a rise in white nationalism.
Do you have to attack white people?
No, I don't. I think it's the opposite, actually. I think what we're seeing is that people like Dylan Roof are getting more radicalized right now under our president. And so
I wonder why. I wonder why. When you have The View being like, even if you're really poor, we hate you because of your skin color. You don't think that radicalizes people? Maybe a little bit?
And just bear in mind, he's one of the smart ones. He's one of the ones that's, he's a more serious Republican. Like, he's willing to question like the elites in society and all that. No. So he's worried about the radicalization, but who is radicalizing those white supremacists? The View, okay? So it's Meghan McCain, I guess, and Abby Huntsman and all the rest. They're the ones that are doing it. So there's so many absolute BS points in that I will say, and didn't say it. And so, came close, okay? This is what Tucker Carlson does to me. So can we call a truce? So you have two things, because in American political discourse, you have two things that you contrast. So you have American racism, both in the present and institutionalized racism going back literally hundreds of years. And now we have people talking about white privilege. Can we call a truce? Why are you attacking Americans? Well, you see, the thing is, I talk about white privilege and I acknowledge it, and I don't really feel like I'm attacking myself, don't feel like I'm hitting myself. I feel like it's an important thing for us to talk about in America, but we're not gonna convince him of that, so we're gonna move on. So I will just say that it is not only absurd that Tucker Carlson is saying that it is The View that is radicalizing white supremacists, who are, by the way, going into black churches and shooting up people, in synagogues and shooting up people and all of that. It's also incredibly convenient, because if there is any high-profile media figure that appears to be doing whatever he can with whatever power he has to radicalize more and more white nationalists and white supremacists in America, it would certainly have to be Tucker Carlson. And I just want to go through just a couple quick pieces of the evidence. You're familiar with most of this, I'm sure, but you might pick up just a little bit. Derek Black is the son of the founder of Stormfront.org, one of the big original websites for white supremacists. And he said recently, it's really, really alarming that my family watches Tucker Carlson's show once and then watches it on the replay because they feel that he is making the white nationalist talking points better than they have. And they're trying to get some tips on how to advance it. So those who, for much more than a decade, were running a white supremacist website feel like they can learn things from Tucker Carlson in making the case that white supremacy is awesome and that's the direction we should be going in. And how does he actually do this? What are some of the talking points? Well, here's a quick rundown. In August of last year, Carlson ran an erroneous segment about white farmers in South Africa pushed off their land, a conspiracy theory widely circulated in far-right circles. It's part of the white genocide argument. Carlson has objected to the removal of Confederate statues, defended the social network Gab, which has been described as Twitter for racists. And in December 2018, he claimed that immigrants are making America, quote, dirtier, for which he lost some of his sponsors. In February, the white nationalist site VDare thanked Carlson for name-checking them in a segment about deplatforming. Tucker Carlson simply called them a publication, not a white supremacist publication. And in March, leaked chat messages of the white nationalist group Identity Europa showed that members believe, quote, Tuck is our guy and has, quote, done more for our people than most of us could ever hope to. But lest you come away from this video just thinking that he is parroting their talking points, no, he's also using the literal racist language that they would use as well. Thanks to Media Matters, we know that Tucker Carlson described Iraqis as, quote, semi-literate primitive monkeys in past comments made on the Bubba the Love Sponge radio show. So he believes these things, he says these things, and he makes sure that the millions of people who watch his show on a nightly basis are being fed a steady diet of white nationalists and white supremacist talking points. But don't worry, it's probably Whoopi. It's probably Whoopi and Abby Huntsman and all the rest. Joy Behar, she is the one that is pushing white supremacists into shooting up places of worship because she acknowledges white privilege and racism. But just to make sure, like I'm not an expert on this, totally acknowledge that. The head of the Southern Poverty Law Center's intelligence project, Heidi Beirich, said, Tucker Carlson probably has been the #1 commentator mainstreaming bedrock principles of white nationalism in this country, which is fear of immigrants, fear of Muslims, keeping them out and arguing that whites are under attack. And when you bear in mind all of those different elements that Heidi just mentioned there, you will find them in a couple of different places. You will find them in the manifestos of white supremacists who commit terrorism acts, and you'll find them in the nightly rundowns of Tucker Carlson on his Fox News show. So maybe a little bit less worry about The View in that regard, although there are perfectly worrisome things about the show that I point out on a daily basis. They're probably not the ones causing the white supremacist radicalization. Thank you very much for watching this clip from The Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.